Good evening. This is Akashvani. I'm Abhineet Shukla with the World News. The headlines. India dismantles large-scale areca nut import racket from Bangladesh, uncovering 2,500 crore rupees revenue loss, 9 arrested. Ukraine and Russia exchange missile and drone strikes, claiming 11 lives on both sides. Indonesia's East Nusa Tenggara province declares 14-day emergency response after 7.7 magnitude quake that toll reaches 51. In hockey, India begin campaign with 2-2 draw against China at FIH Women's World Cup in the Netherlands. And BWF Badminton World Championships start in New Delhi tomorrow. PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen to lead India's challenge. Now the news in detail. The Directorate of Revenue Intelligence (DRI) has dismantled a major network involved in importing Southeast Asian areca nuts into India by falsely declaring them as being of Bangladeshi origin and fraudulently availing concessional duty benefits under the South Asian Free Trade Area (SAFTA). The Finance Ministry said the investigation has so far revealed a potential revenue loss of more than 2,500 crore rupees. 9 persons have been arrested in connection with the case. Import of areca nuts into India attracts a basic customs duty of 100%. However, eligible imports under the SAFTA agreement are exempt from customs duty. Areca nuts originating in Bangladesh qualify for the exemption, provided the imports meet the prescribed rules of origin criteria. More from our correspondent.
The DRI said intelligence gathered during the investigation indicated that certain syndicates were fraudulently claiming SAFTA benefits on a large scale. The syndicates were importing areca nuts originating from Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia and other Southeast Asian countries, but declaring their country of origin as Bangladesh while importing them into India. Based on intelligence inputs, the DRI conducted simultaneous searches at multiple premises linked to importers, customs brokers and IEC holders in Kolkata and Visakhapatnam. Several incriminating documents and other evidence establishing the Southeast Asian origin of the areca nuts were recovered. The investigation is continuing to identify other members of the syndicate and determine the full extent of the revenue loss. Sakleen Akhtar for Akashvani News, Delhi.
Army Chief General Dheeraj Seth embarked on an official visit to Nepal today. The 3-day visit aims to further strengthen the close defense cooperation and military-to-military ties between India and Nepal. Tomorrow, General Seth will lay a wreath at the Army Pavilion, Tundikhel, and receive a guard of honor at the Nepali Army headquarters. He will interact with the Chief of the Army Staff, Nepali Army, and will be briefed by the Director General, Military Operations, Nepali Army, on issues of mutual interest. Ukraine and Russia exchanged missiles and drones today, with attacks killing at least 11 people on both the sides. Ukraine launched hundreds of drones across Russia in one of Kyiv's largest aerial attacks of the war, killing 6 people. 5 people were killed in Russia's southwestern Rostov region after drone attacks targeted 3 towns, while an 83-year-old man was killed after a Ukrainian drone struck a private home in the Moscow region. Meanwhile, Russian strikes killed 5 people in Ukraine. Israel claimed that its forces killed a senior commander of Iran-backed armed group Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. In a statement, Israel Defense Forces IDF today said Abu Hassan Allah was killed in the strike on Deir al-Zahrani last night. It described the attack as a response to an earlier Hezbollah drone strike targeting Israeli troops in southern Lebanon that injured 3 soldiers. Lebanon's state news agency reported that 4 people were killed and 5 injured in the strike. Baloch human rights organization PANK has strongly condemned the enforced disappearances of 3 Baloch men and called on Pakistani authorities to immediately disclose their whereabouts and ensure their safety. In a social media post, PANK said, Asif Ali and 17-year-old Asfan Baloch were forcibly abducted in separate incidents involving Pakistani intelligence and security personnel. It also condemned the continued alleged disappearance of Wajid Baloch. PANK urged the United Nations, international human rights organizations, and the wider international community to take immediate notice of a continuing pattern of enforced disappearances in the region. This is Akashvani. You are listening to World News. We bring you the top international news and updates from around the globe. In Indonesia, a 14-day emergency response period was declared in East Nusa Tenggara province today after a powerful magnitude 7.7 earthquake struck off the coast of Flores yesterday. According to a decree issued by East Nusa Tenggara Governor Melki Lakalena, the emergency response will remain in effect till the 28th of this month. The measure is intended to facilitate disaster response, evacuations, relief distribution and recovery efforts in the affected areas. Indonesia's National Disaster Management Agency said the earthquake and 341 aftershocks had killed 51 people and injured 113 others. Officials said people may still be trapped inside damaged buildings in several areas. In Hungary, 12 people were killed and several others injured after a passenger bus travelling on a highway went off the road and overturned in a ditch early this morning. The accident occurred about 140 kilometers east of Budapest. Firefighters in Belgium are battling a massive wildfire in the High Fens, the country's largest nature reserve, which has burned more than 27 square kilometers. Authorities said around 600 residents are being evacuated from Weimes and Butengenbach in Liège province as shifting winds spread smoke across the area. Pacific island nation Hawaii is facing strong winds and torrential rain as Category 1 Hurricane Lala moves across the Big Island. Lala has maximum sustained winds of around 120 kilometers per hour. Forecasters warn of up to 63 centimeters of rain, raising the risk of flash floods and mudslides. A hurricane warning is in effect for the Big Island. Officials have urged the residents to remain indoors and avoid traveling. The BWF Badminton World Championship is set to begin at the Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium in New Delhi tomorrow. The tournament will continue till the 23rd of this month. India is hosting the World Championships after 17 years. Shuttlers PV Sindhu, Lakshya Sen, Ayush Shetty, Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty, Trisa Jolly and Gayatri Gopichand will be leading the charge for the Indian contingent. Talking to media ahead of the tournament, former world champion and two-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu backed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of hosting Olympics in India.
I think it's really good to have that scope of thinking and making it happen in India. I think PM has that vision that we can host it. There's nothing wrong in making it happen when PM said we want to make it happen. Now we all have to work backwards since we have the facilities. It's just that we have to improvise it in a right way. I'm hoping that we could, and that will be an amazing thing that even we can do it.
In the FIH Women's Hockey World Cup, India began their campaign with a thrilling 2-2 draw against China in a group stage match at Amstelveen in the Netherlands today. Navneet gave India an early lead in the 8th minute, but China equalized through Zhang Ying's penalty stroke in the 15th minute. Deepika restored India's lead in the 25th minute with a penalty corner goal. China fought back in the third quarter with Ma Ning converting a penalty corner in the 39th minute to level the score at 2-2. In men's cricket, India were 460 for 9 in their first innings at stumps against hosts Sri Lanka on day 2 of the first test match of the series at the Galle International Stadium. Prasidh Krishna and Kuldeep Yadav were on the crease at the draw of stumps this evening. Devdutt Padikkal hit his maiden test century, scoring 167 runs. KL Rahul scored 82 runs and Dhruv Jurel contributed 51 runs. For Sri Lanka, Prabhat Jayasuriya clinched 4 wickets, while Keshra Nuvantha took 3 wickets. And now before we close, here are the highlights of the bulletin. India dismantles large-scale Areca nut import racket from Bangladesh, uncovering 2,500 crore rupees revenue loss, 9 arrested. Ukraine and Russia exchanged missile and drone strikes, claiming 11 lives on both sides. Indonesia's East Nusa Tenggara province declares 14-day emergency response after 7.7 magnitude quake. Death toll reaches 51. In hockey, India began campaign with 2-2 draw against China at FIH Women's World Cup in the Netherlands. And BWF Badminton World Championships start in New Delhi tomorrow. PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen to lead India's challenge. And with that, we conclude tonight's World News Bulletin. For more updates, stay tuned to Akashvani. Good night.